Hello Year 4. Today in reading we are looking at inferring information from a text. So yesterday we looked at an article about Marcus Rashford and we're going to still be using that article today. First off, a refresher, what is inference? So write that one down for me, see what you can remember. Okay, so inference is when a conclusion is reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning. So that means that it doesn't explicitly tell us, or a text doesn't tell us, what people mean. It's inferred. It's not directly saying this is what someone's saying, but we read through and find the information in other ways. So here's our article from yesterday. Now looking at that, let's think. Why is Marcus Rashford described as a football star in the title and not a footballer? So to do that, we need to ask some questions as well. So what do we know about Marcus? So we know Marcus is a very, very popular young man and that he is spreading and trying to spread a load of support for young people who don't have access to things. So what do we know about Marcus? We know that he cares for young people, which is really important. So my follow-up question to that is, why does star affect us more than the word celebrity? So they could have called him a footballer, which is what most people who play football are called, or they could have called him a celebrity. They call him a star. Now, why would they just call him a star? So I'm thinking that it may be because he is very, very new to being a celebrity and is liked by people. I think that really helps. It'd help if I could spell celebrity as well. And is liked by people, which is really important when you're doing a good cause that people support you with it. And my final question is, how has the author used language to infer what we know about Marcus? So we know he's popular, we know he's a footballer, and this title just tells us all of that information. So it's inferred that being a football star is slightly different to being a footballer because he's famous for playing football, but he's done so much more with it. So using the word star and not just footballer has added to what we know about Marcus as a person. So your task is to reread through the text and think about our inference questions. So let me give you an example. Why has the author not just told us, the reader, what they mean? Now the reason for that is that the author would like us to read through, capital letter at the beginning of a sentence, read through the article to find out more about Marcus and his journey, because he's not just doing this for him, he's trying to help out a load of people. Are there answers to questions that don't just tell us what we want to know? So we need to think about, how are we going to perceive information? We're asking questions. Is it in there? Can we find it in there? And what can we understand from the way the text is written? So the idea is that we read on to find out loads more information. So as you'll be aware as well, in the text it also mentions other people and role models. So the questions on your worksheet, if you're doing bronze, I have again included sections of the text that should help you with your inference. If you'd like, feel free to go through the text again and see what else you can find. Again, we've got some multiple choice here, so make sure that you circle all the answers that represent our question. Our silver. So you need to read through the text and find this information, and then you need to explain to me why he thinks things. Why do you think it's in this text? Why is it important? So make sure that you find all that information. And gold. Your task as well is to really try and break down what is important about the language used. What are we inferring as the audience from this text? So for example, why does Marcus Rashford say reading is cool? Why does he say that? And what can reading do for people? So there's a follow-up question. What do we know that Marcus enjoys? But also, why is it important that everybody gets the opportunity to do this? So that is your task for today. And within the last 5 minutes, the plenary objective is, what project would you start to help your community, which also goes back to our PSHE session. So if you could start something that you're already passionate about and that you really enjoy, what would it be? And how would you encourage people to do that?